Yeah, welcome back, guys. So, carrying on from where we left off, going to start painting maps for where we want our hair to grow on. So let me just hide this. So, we're going to be using this density map to paint out where we want hairs to grow out from. So, making sure we're on the right description, which is the new eyebrow description. I'll click on this drop down arrow and I'll click on. First of all, let's save this. The quick save for this. I'll come in here and I will click on create map. So the resolution for this map should be around, let me put this around 30. So I'll put this on black because I don't want to show any air. And I'll use white to paint in where I want the hairs to grow from. And I'll name this eyebrow underscore, then which is density max. I'll click create. So right off the bat we should have something like so. So let me hide. So I use to remove the preview for the hairs. I'll bring this out. Just want to see the wireframe of this. Then I'll also need to double click on this to bring out the tool panel. I think I'm going to use a solid brush for this. Select a solid brush. It should be on white. I'll scroll down, understroke, click on reflection. So this kind of mirror our painting to the other side, just to have symmetry on. Okay, this is good. So I minimize this. Let me drag this out like so. So I'll take down the brush size like so. I'll start with something very really small. So this smaller brush size, I'm going to carve out where I want the hairs to grow from. Just the outer border of it, something like this. And just carving out something for the outer border. And draw this out again. So this is for the outer border. Carve out something like so. Okay. So the other side is not properly defined. That's fine. I will just draw that again. So let me go back in here. I'll turn off the reflection. So I can just draw this individually here. Something like this should be fine. And I'll flip this to full black. Raise out some raise out all of this. Okay. So now I can comfortably paint inside of this. I'll just increase the brush size. increase the brush size a bit and just paint. Let me undo that. I think I need to erase. Let me erase some of this. I'll erase some of this and I'll redraw this again. Do something smaller like so. Still on black. Let me erase some of this. Okay. Okay. Can paint this in. Okay. Okay. Drag this to black and just go over and on top of this. This one needs to be a bit smaller. Let me increase the brush size some more and erase something like so. Do the same thing in here. That's a bit much. Okay. Okay. So I think I'll need to pull this down some more. I think I need to do some adjustment on this. I'm going to go to our selection tool. Then I would, let me save this. Then I would push this down. I'll go to the move tool, hold control and then drag this down like so. So I'll do the same for the other side too. Select this with one on the keyboard and then hold control and pull this down. Somewhere around here should be fine. Now select this also. Now drag this down around here. Now put this back. Now select this also. Now drag this down. Okay, select this two, hit one the keyboard, and I'll drag this down around here. Should be fine. Now I'll go back to the Xgen panel, and then I'll click on this to go back to this mode where I can adjust the textures. So this particular map is actually painted on our UVs. That's why we needed UV maps for this. So while I have this now, I can click on generate here. I'll turn off this wireframe on shaded. Okay, now it's not working because we need to save this map directly on the texture, on the UV texture. So I'll click save. So now that I've hit save, now we have this in here now. So we need to do one more thing. We need to assign this texture. So I'm going to drag this to around 2K resolution, and I'll click assign texture. So this will just create a map in our project files. So in case we close Maya and then open Maya again, so just to kind of use this texture map I've saved in here to kind of generate hairs where we painted our or painted our density map on. So click on assign. Hit assign. Now close this, and I'll click on save textures. So now we have a saved texture in our project file, which has memorized all our brush stroke on the UVs. So then I'll close this and click save here also. And I'll go back to selection tool. So back on our selection tool, I'll go back to preview, and I'll turn on only primitives in view. I'll turn this on off. So while that is turned off, I can see how the air is being spun on our geometry. So I'm going to turn this. I'm going to hide our. I'm going to temporarily hide the. Let's see. So I'm going to temporarily hide hide our guides and see what we have in here. I need to generate more air from this, so I'll just increase this for this to generate more air. So now I have more air in there now. But I'm kind of seeing some issues now. Now this map needs to I need to draw this down here instead. And then for this I need to do something similar also. But before I do that, let me kind of check. Let me check. Let me just check from the side view to see how far that goes. So using this as a reference, I will just check this around here. Now ours is just way too long. It's way too long. So I need to adjust that. I need to adjust that individually. So for the most part, we have the direction that we need, and then the air strands are being generated on the right place, but we still need to make some corrections to this. So I'll go back to density map. I'll turn on wireframe on shaded. Then I'll turn off the airs, and I need to generate something again. So I'll start by using a smaller brush stroke and carve out the direction for where the air should be. Let me double click on this and then draw a white map on this like we did earlier on. So the air should stop around here. Something like this should be fine. So I'll just paint this in like so. Then I need to erase the other part. So increase the brush size. I'll drag this all the way to black. Then I'll erase all of this. I just erase this out like so. Something like this should be. I think I went way too much on that, so I'm going to reduce this. Something like this should be fine. Let me do that one more. Erase this. Then kind of push this down like so, just to get an angle on this. Okay. So I'll do something similar in here too. Let me just zoom in here. Kind of erase anything I should have on top of this. And I'll do something similar in here also. Now this feels a bit too much. So let me kind of kill this off here. Okay. This should be fine. Okay, yeah, this should work just fine. Now I'll do the same thing here also. I'll take down the brush size and I'll draw out where the air should be. A smaller brush size, maybe something that comes across like this should be fine. Something like this should be fine. Now just erase out the other parts that I don't need. So here you just use your artistic control to kind of figure out how the hair should grow on the eyebrow. I think I went too much there. So you have so much control here, just for you to look at your reference and try to mimic what you have. So I'll just carve this like so. Something like this should be fine. Something like this should be fine. Just trying to eyeball this and see. I think I need to push this down. Okay, so I'm just pushing this down a bit. I'll just come on top of this and then clear some of this out some more. If I need more of that, I can just easily paint that back in. But for now, let me just see what we have in here. So I'm going to hit save. Come in here, scroll down and hit save texture also. Save texture. Turn on wireframe on shaded. Go back to selection mode and let's see what we have. This looks good. We can definitely work with this. Yeah, we can definitely work with this. So the only thing I need to do now is just to feather some of the edges out and probably make this a bit broader. Just make this a bit broader. Yes, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go back in here, turn on wireframe on shaded, hide the hairs, maybe just paint some more density around here. I can do that. So I need to use the white brush, maybe not completely white, somewhere around here should be fine. And I'll just paint some more density around here. Let me undo that. I think I need to use a full white brush. So I need to use a full white brush, and I'll just paint more density around here. All the way like so should be fine. So I'll do the same thing for the other side too. Look all the way like so should be fine. Okay. Okay. Then I can just blur this out. So if I hold the shift key, I can just blur this out. That's too much blur. Let me take down the brush size some more, like so. Hold shift and I'll just blur this out. I think that's way too much. Let me do that again. For a smaller brush size, hold shift. Let me undo that. It's blurring. The intensity is just way too much. Let's see if we can control that. I'll look for. Let me see if I can adjust this. Intensity is just way too much. Let's see blur. So the blur size. Okay. The blur size for this is just way too much. Let me take this down. Take it down like so. Then you can just blur this out. Just blur out the edges. I want this to be feel more faded on the edges. So I want to do this on like two ticks. So once I undo, to just go back just once. So let me generate some hair around that also to see what I have. Turn off wireframe shaded. This looks fine, I guess. I'll save that. Okay. So when I save that, it kind of generates the hair around those blurred out region. Let me blur this out also. Increase the brush size some more, and I'll just blur this out around the edges. I think we're almost done with this. So let's blur this out like so. Okay, I'll save this. That should generate some hairs around those blurred out region. I think now that we're done with this, we can now control the hairs a bit more by adding more segments or more points to our guides to kind of make this feel more high definition. Okay, so let me do a quick save on this. So we have something like this that looks quite good. So I have some hair spotting out from this region that we don't want. So I'll go back to paint, drag this all the way to black. Then I can increase the brush size and then just paint this out. Click save. So that doesn't seem to be working. So let me just use my mouse instead. Hit save. Yeah, and that's done. Okay, I think this looks good. So let's just make this feel a bit more defined. Let's define this a bit more. just going to define this a bit more by controlling our guides and adding more points or segments to our guides to make this feel more interesting. So I'll come in here, go back to my guide. So let me just zoom out from a distance. From a distance, it doesn't look too bad. This looks like some this will definitely work. This will definitely work. We don't need our guides to be super accurate. Something like this should work just fine. Maybe the thickness of the hairs are just way too thick. Let me take this down. Something like so should be fine. So I'll save this. I think on our render settings on the viewport 2.0, I'm going to turn on anti-aliasing. Let's turn on anti-aliasing. Let's hope this doesn't crash. Okay, that seems to hold just fine. So now we have a better definition on the hair strands. So now all we have to do is just to manipulate our hair guys a bit more. You see why having fewer guys kind of gives us that control we need on this. Gives us a whole lot of control. Now I'm going to zoom in here. The resolution of our reference image is not too good, so I'm just going to use the general concept of making something feel a bit more interesting. Just kind of control this a bit more. So first of all, I'm going to start by selecting all our guides. Select all our guides, and I'll go to, let's go to rebuild. Probably put this around, let's say 10. Let's double this. So I hit 10 on that. So now I can so now I can control them. Oh, sorry, I can control them individually. Kind of play with the length also. So let's start with this guy. So I'll select this. Let's see what we have in here. So I'm just kind of trying to create like an X curve for this. Just to make this feel more defined and interesting. Now you have to be really careful here so you don't overdo that. So you don't overdo it. Keeping in mind just to have like an S curve in there. Keeping in mind that X curve factor in there. Now I'm supposed to play with the length also. So I'm going to adjust some of the length for this. So let me adjust the length of this. Adjust the length. Adjust the length for this. Just trying to randomize the length of these hairs. And then use the sculpting tool to kind of add more curve to this. So you have to also be conscious of the various angles for this too, just to make this feel more interesting. Okay. Select this. I'll do the same thing for this. I'm going to be doing this for every single strand of hair. Maybe I should increase my brush size a bit more. select this also, do something similar here. Select this too, do something like so. I don't think this one does much, but let's see, do some adjustment for this. Okay, so I'll do the same thing for the other side also. Okay, so I'm also adjusting the length of the hair, but the general direction still is still the same. I'll select this guy, I'll just push this down, kind of push this like so. I'll refresh, select this guy, increase the length a bit more, kind of get this curve, something like this should be fine. Probably push this out like so. The idea is to have those subtle variations on the lens and making sure you're adding that S curve on each particular air guide, just to make it feel more interesting. So for the modified series, we already have UVs high enough to match the adjustments or corrections we're making here. So we won't need to adjust that, and we won't need to adjust that again. Okay, so maybe we might need to add some guys in the center, probably. Yes, let's add some guys in the center of this. So using our reference, I'm just going to write a guide here. I'll refresh that. Now use this sculpt tool to adjust this some more, just to add more variations to the center of our hair strand. Okay, I'll add another one right about here. Update. So let me do a quick save for this. Let me increase the length for this. So maybe I'll just push this up somewhere around here, should be fine. I'll just adjust this, pull this out some more and refresh. Then I'll do something similar here also. So this one should be around here. I'll refresh to generate some more hair. Go to my sculpting tool and then if I'll push this all the way here. Okay, So it should be fine. Now select this and this, then I would mirror it to the other side. Let me just do a quick mirror, and then we have that in there now. So let me generate hairs like so. So I think this is fine. Yeah, this is fine. This should work. If there's any more correction we need to make to this, we can always make that later on. But for now, I think we can work with this. This looks completely fine by me. So in the next lesson, we're going to start using modifiers for this. We want to start playing with modifiers and making this feel more interesting and more believable. So let me just increase this some more, like so. Oh yeah, we did not increase our CV count, so we need to increase that now to actually match this, to actually match the resolution valid for our guides. So let's just increase that. Actually thought I increase that. Let's increase that to around, so we had 10 for the air guide. We ought to have 10 in here. Thought we had 10 in here, so let me just bring this back out and select all of this again to be sure. Seems to be an issue, but let's confirm. Let's confirm. So select one guide. I'll go to our scope 2. Let's see, this is 1. Let me just take the brush down. Take the brush down a bit more. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 10 around there. I think I'm missing one, but it's around 10. That's fine. So we won't need to rebuild that again. All we have to do is just to come in here to the modify CV count and just put this around. Let's put this around 20, because our modifiers we need this, we need a higher CV count to kind of work properly. So put in 20 in here, and then we'll refresh this. So if we take this down, let's say put this around 5, you see how straight those hair strands look like. So once we increase this to around, let's say 25, you see how they're kind of following the modified or sculpted guides we already have in here, which is fine. So I'll turn this off. So I'll do a quick save for this. Do a quick save. Okay, so let me just hide this and just see how this looks like, which is fine. So in the next lesson, we're going to be using modifiers to add some clumping, noise, and cuts to the eyebrows. So I'll see you guys in the next lesson.